ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم هو في شأن. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ سنفرغ لكم أيها الثقلان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum to everyone that's again turned up on time. Inshallah, this is the third out of the four majalises that Sheikh Abbas is delivering. Inshallah, after which Sayyid Bilal from America will be joining us. Just to recap, Sheikh Abbas has been talking about the first majlis. He was talking about how we can utilize Ramadan and use it as a crash course to make a change in our life. Yesterday it was a question, and he delivered a majlis whereby it was all questions that we are commonly faced with. And today, inshallah, he will be continuing his majalis series. So without any further ado, I'd like to call Sheikh Abbas to the pulpit to deliver his third majalis. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم من يوم ظلمهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد وفرقان الحميد وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, today, as promised, we will be discussing the Holy Quran. And why is it that this book is a miracle? And because we find ourselves in this holy month in which this holy book was revealed, we find that within the holy narrations, one of the best acts that a Muslim can do in this holy month is the recitation of the Holy Quran. But we find that unfortunately, as we mentioned in the previous nights, it's unfortunate that especially our youth do not have this relation with the Quran that maybe the previous generations had. We find that unfortunately within our youth especially, there are brothers and sisters who are unable to recite the Holy Quran. We find unfortunately that there are brothers and sisters who do not have even basic understanding of the Quran. We find unfortunately that within the youth especially, brothers and sisters are unable to give time to the Holy Quran. And in order to answer all of these questions, I believe that it is vital to understand what the Quran is. Because if we do not know the value of something, we cannot give it the attention it requires. For example, at home, if I have a very expensive piece of jewelry, I'm always cautious when I'm leaving the house where to leave it. In the safe, because I know of its value. Therefore, what we will try to do inshallah tonight is understand the value of the Quran. What is the Quran? And then inshallah we'll be able to implement it in our lives. Because this first stage is very important. That we have to recognize what the Quran is, know what the Quran is. And only then can we introduce it into our lives. And like I said, for everyone is different. And inshallah throughout the talk we will discuss how a person can increase this relation with the Holy Quran. Within logic, for example, and other sciences, it's key when discussing something to first define what you are discussing. And because we are discussing the Quran, it is vital for us to define what Quran means. This is the first stage. Quran within Arabic is derived from the word yaqra'u. Qara'a yaqra'u, meaning to read. Qara'a is the past tense, yaqra'u is the present tense, read and reading. So therefore, something which is read a lot, repetitively read, within the dictionaries we find that this is given the name Quran. Like in Arabic language, it's on the same wazn as they say, on the same balance as Ghufran. Quran, Ghufran. rujhan. These words are on the same balance as they say. Also, we find that people like Ibn Manzur in his book Lisan al-Arab volume number 11, when discussing in the letter Qaf, they come to the word Quran. He who is a compiler of a dictionary, who is renowned for being one of the most linguistic experts of his time, some scholars have the view that he is from the Ahl Sunnah school of thought. However, some others also have the view that he is from the Shia school of thought. This is not what I want to discuss. However, what I want to emphasize is that in his time, which is about 700 years ago, he is considered one of the greatest linguistic experts, to the extent that he has compiled a dictionary of more than 15 volumes by the name of Lisan al-Arab. And like I mentioned, even till today, it's accepted as being one of the most authentic and reliable sources for Arabic language. When we look in the 11th volume of this dictionary, we find that he says that Quran, other than what we have mentioned being in the meaning of reading, he says that it also comes in the meaning of compiling and gathering. He also says that the meaning of Quran is to gather. Then he proves this point by bringing the verses of Surah Qiyamah. Surah Qiyamah is the 75th chapter of the Holy Quran. And to prove his point that the word Quran also means to gather, he mentions verses 17 and 18. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna alayna jam'ahu wa Qur'anah. The word Quran is mentioned in the first verse. And then it continues, فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. 17 and 18, the word Quran is mentioned twice. Within the Holy Quran as a whole, the word Quran is mentioned 69 times. 2 of the times are in these 2 verses, number 17 and 18 of Surah Qiyamah. So therefore, we need to know what this means. Ibn Manzur is saying that Quran comes in the meaning of gathering, compiling. And when we look at the translation, it is, indeed, it is upon us. Inna alayna. This pronoun, inna alayna, Mufassirin and commentators of the Holy Quran say this is an action that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is attributing to himself. Inna alayna, it is upon us, jam'ahu, to compile it. Now, it's a very important point that I would like to discuss here. Within translations of the Holy Quran, if you remember yesterday, for those brothers and sisters that were present, there were certain questions that we were going through, and I purposely left some of the questions that had to do with the Quran so that we could mention them where the topic is specific for the Holy Quran. People usually ask, what is a good translation of the Quran in English? And this is one of the many examples I could give where if you do not have a good translation of the Quran, it changes the meaning completely. We are discussing Surah Qiyamah, which is the chapter number 75 of the Holy Quran, verses 17 and 18. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that surely, inna alayna, it is upon us, jam'ahu wa Qur'ana. It is upon us to compile and read it, as in referring back to the Quran. Some translators, in order to take the credit of the compiling of the Quran away from the Prophet and to other people, the member is pure, so I'm not going to mention their names. So in order to take the credit from the Prophet and to other people, they add brackets within the translation. What do they say? They say, indeed, it is upon us to compile. Everyone here is, inshallah, listening. To compile. The other translations are the same. But then some translators add in brackets to take away the credit from the Prophet, to compile in their hearts. They add in their hearts. However, this has got nothing to do with the heart. Therefore, be very careful on which translation you are reading. And therefore, I suggest that when one wants to read the English translation of the Quran, they refer to the translation of Ali Quli Qara'i. Ali Quli Qara'i has done a very, very good translation of the Quran in English. And it's a phrase by phrase translation of the Quran. and it's not in the Shakespearean form. So there's no thou, thee, doest, or deest that you have difficulty sometimes in understanding. It's a very rawan, as they say, a very easy way of understanding the Quran. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So, up to now we have discussed that the word Quran, even though it has been mentioned in the Quran numerous times, we need to know what it means. And ulama say that it is from the word qara'a yaqra'u, meaning to read. Ibn Manzur in his Lisan al-Arab, volume number 11, says that Quran also comes in the meaning of compiling and gathering. And he brings the verses of Surah Qiyamah 17 and 18 to prove this point. And as we mentioned, the whole idea of the compilation and gathering of the Quran is a big discussion and requires a lot of time. And if I had more time, I would discuss it. But I would quickly like to summarize this whole discussion. And for those that require more details, they can refer to our book on Tajweed al-Quran al-Majid. The first maybe 40, 50 pages, we have discussed the history of the Quran, which includes the compilation, includes the recitation, and other aspects of the history of the Quran. Inshallah, brothers and sisters that require more details than what I'm going to mention here, they can inshallah look into our works. So we find that when it comes to the compilation of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that this is an act that it is upon us. Inna alayna jam'ahu wa qur'ana. So Allah is compiling the Quran. Through who? The Holy Prophet. Because as Shias, we do not believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bodily form. And therefore anything that the Prophet says or does, again in the light of the Holy Quran, وَمَا يَنْتُقَ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. This is for speaking. So anything that the Prophet is saying are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And anything that he does are the actions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, if Allah is saying that it is upon us to compile the Quran and recite it, who is going to be compiling the Quran? The Prophet, peace be upon him. Who's going to be reciting the Quran? The Prophet, peace be upon him. It's a very important point. And in order to support this idea of the fact that the Prophet compiled the Quran, we have to use the famous hadith of Thaqalain to our advantage here. We find that the Prophet mentioned this famous hadith that I am leaving behind, or I am the leaver behind of two weighty things. Kitab Allah wa itrati ahla bayti. I mentioned this before as well, that why is it that the Prophet said Kitab Allah and he did not say Quran? Because the Prophet is leaving behind two things. One is the Quran. However, why did he refer to it as Kitab Allah? Why did he attribute to Allah and say the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Again, these are hadith that we hear, but we don't ponder upon it and think, why is it that the Prophet didn't say Quran? Inni tarikun fiikum al-thaqalain al-Quran wa itrati. Why not? It makes you think. And because we are saying that the Prophet is whom compiled the Quran. This is the vital point that we are trying to prove. In English even, if you Google it, those people on their phones, they can Google it now. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. If you Google right now, define book, Kitab Allah instead of Quran. So we want to know what Kitab means. We want to know what book means, because we are trying to prove that the Prophet himself compiled the Quran and not people that came after him. In English, it's defined as a work written or printed. A work which is written or printed and compiled through papers. It is either sewn or glued on one side. So, right now, those that can see me, this right now is a definition of a book. This is a definition. That it's a written or printed work on pages, and it has been glued or sewn on one side. Is everybody with me? Therefore, now we know what what kitab means. It's a book, as we know. Therefore, when the Prophet is saying, Inni tarikun fikum al-thaqalain, the Prophet is saying that surely I am leaving behind two weighty things. One is the book of Allah, so that tomorrow none of the Muslims will say that this was incomplete, this page wasn't here, this page was eaten by a goat, this was left here. The Prophet's actions are the actions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, anything he does is full of wisdom because he is wise. Therefore, when he is saying something, they are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, when he says that I am leaving behind two weighty things, the book of Allah and my progeny, my family, we need to know that this Quran was compiled in the time of the Holy Prophet. Therefore, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Prophet is saying particular things, we need to ponder upon and think about these things. That when Allah is making the Prophet say kitab, that means that it was in this form. That it was already established and this was the complete Quran. Other discussions, like I said, after the Holy Prophet's demise are available in books, and like we referred to previously in the Quran, Tajweed of the Quran al-Majid, we have also discussed this. So, for those that are joining us, we need to know what the Quran means. We discussed this. And in the light of this particular narration of the Holy Prophet, we find that there is no doubt that the compilation of the Quran and gathering of the Quran as we have it today, without any additions or without any subtractions, is the Quran that was in the time of the Holy Prophet. Secondly, we need to know, why is the Quran a miracle? Now that we know what the Quran means, we need to know, why is it a miracle? And in order to do this, we need to look at the prophets previous to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Please recite aloud the salawat. It's vital that we look at the lives of the prophets previous to Prophet Muhammad. And in order to do this, when we look into the books of qasas and stories of the Anbiya, this is a renowned point, and I'm sure even the younger brothers and sisters are aware of this. And it's a vital point that everyone pays attention to. In the time of Prophet Moses, alayhi salam, we find that mysticism and magic was at its peak. Mysticism and magic was at its peak. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Moses two out of the many miracles that he had that are mentioned in the Quran. He gave Moses two miracles. And one was the Yad Bayda, the hand, when he would put into his pocket, it would come out with light. And the second one was his staff, his asa, and when he would throw it, it would turn into a python. Mentioned in the Quran, Surah Taha, you can refer to it afterwards. So we find that according to the climate that Prophet Moses was living in, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him miracles so that he could refute the actions of the people of the time. So he was given these two miracles, and the people of his time seen the miracles of Prophet Moses and seen that this is a prophet, that he has certain attributes that we do not have. He can do certain things that we can't do. And one of the ways, as you're all aware, again discussed in books of theology, the way that a prophet claims that he is a prophet is by saying, I am a prophet, and then doing a miracle, and then showing a miracle. So we find that Prophet Moses, in the climate that he was living in, magicians and magic was at a peak. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him this miracle. Similarly, when we look at Prophet Jesus, Nabi Isa alayhi salam, in his time, medical sciences were at their peak. People were able to cure people that had diseases. However, there were certain diseases that they were unable to cure. For example, leprosy. For example, people that were blind. Nabi Isa, Prophet Jesus, what did he do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through him, give him the miracles of healing the ill, bringing back the dead. And therefore, when he would do this, people would look at his miracles. And because he was living in a time where medical sciences were at their peak, they would look at this and think, no, this man is greater than us. Surely he is the Prophet of Allah, Prophet of God. So what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give to Prophet Jesus? He gave him the ability to cure the leper. He gave him the ability, the miracle of bringing back the dead. He would hit them and say, "Qum bi'idhni Rabbi," and they would stand. So when people would see this, they would be amazed, and this was a miracle for the Prophet of that time. Similarly, when we look at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin wa ajjal farajah. We find that in the time of the Prophet, the Arabs used to take pride over two things. It's a very important point. So we understand what the Quran is. It's only when we go through these muqaddamat and these introductory points do we understand what the Quran is. Because it's unfortunate that we treat the Quran as any other book. And it's only in this holy month that maybe does it come off the shelves and we have to clean the dust off it before we start, using the Quran to read. So coming back to the time of the Holy Prophet, the Arabs of the time used to take pride over two things. One was being strong men. They would take pride over being strong, fighting valiantly, courageous, being brave. They would take pride over their swordsmanship, over their archery, in fighting and combat in general. This was one thing that they used to take pride over. Secondly, the Arabs of the time of the Prophet used to take a lot of pride and were proud of their eloquence in speech. They would say that we are the Arabs. There is no other person, any other nation that is able to speak with eloquence and praise like us. Even people at a young age would learn poetry. They would be fluently speaking and delivering poems. So these were the two things that the Arabs of the time took a lot of pride in. In refutation and answer of their pride, in their eloquence and language, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the Prophet the Holy Quran. So that when the Arabs, they would read it, they would be amazed. And in answer to their swordsmanship and their fighting, combat, archery, swordsmanship, their bravery, what did Allah give to the Prophet as a miracle? No one other than Ali ibn Abi Talib. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. We find that for the Prophet there are thousands and thousands of miracles that are recorded. Books are dedicated for the recording of the miracles specific for the Prophet. For example, the breaking of half of the moon, the recitation of Allah's glory of pebbles in the palm of the Prophet's hand. Many other miracles are also mentioned, like I said, in books that are devoted to this. However, the Quran is the miracle of the Prophet, which bears witness to the prophethood of the Prophet till the Day of Judgment. It's a very important point, so that we become aware of what the Quran is. The Quran is not like any other book. Now that it's coming in my mind, I will mention it. When we say that the Quran is not like any other book, there's this miraculous side. However, then there's the physical side also. What do I mean by this physical side? The Quran, unlike any other book, cannot be touched. I'm talking about the scripts, as in the actual writing of the Quran, cannot be touched without wudu. The Quran is amongst those things that the Ahl al-Bayt alayhimus salam have said, that there are certain things that if you look upon them, they deserve reward. For example, looking at the Kaaba. You go to Mecca, inshallah, those that have not been, inshallah, may Allah give them the opportunity of going. You go to Mecca, for example, and you're sitting in front of the Kaaba. You have now done the circumambulations of the Quran, of the Kaaba, and now you're tired. If you just look at the Kaaba, the angels are writing down the reward just for looking at the Kaaba. Looking at the faces of Ali Muhammad and the Prophet alayhi salam is ibadah. looking at the faces of the parents with love. This condition is added in this particular part. With love, ibadah. So na'udhu billah, never look at your parents with anger. Another thing which deserves reward just for looking at it is the Holy Quran. So therefore, if those that can hear me are unfortunate enough not to be able to read the Holy Quran, look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking for the excuses, as I said, to give thawab and reward. If you can't read the Quran, let's say you're reading the Quran, you get tired, just look at the Quran and you will get reward. So therefore, the physical aspect of the Quran is also different to other books. And we find that even looking at the Holy Quran deserves reward. It cannot be touched without wudu, spiritual ablution, spiritual washing and wiping. However, when it comes to the spiritual part of the Quran, we are discussing that it's a miracle and it bears witness to the prophethood of the Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala till the Day of Judgment. Within the hadith, for example, from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, we find Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. The Quran on the Day of Judgment, because right now in our houses, whilst we have the Quran, this Quran is a shahid for us. It's a witness for us. And within the hadith, we find this narration in particular. Imam says that on the day of Qiyamah, on the day of resurrection, the day of judgment, the Quran will come in its physical form. The Quran will come out of this form and will come in its physical form, to the extent that the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the humans will ask, "Oh Allah, who is this creation? We have not seen someone so beautiful in our lives whilst we were on this world." And the reply will come that this is the Holy Quran. And then it will pick bones, as they say, and criticize and say that I was in everyone's house. I was beautiful. I was bearing witness upon your acts. But no one gave me the attention that I needed. Some people, especially the younger brothers and sisters, say, if only we were in the time of, for example, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If I was to question and say, who would like, this is a question, who would like to see the miracles, for example, of Prophet Moses, where he could throw his staff and it would turn into a snake? Everyone would want to see that. Everyone would enjoy seeing this. In the same way, if I was to ask, who would like to see the Prophet right now, for example, split the moon in half? Who would like to witness this physically? Everyone would be, let me get to the front. Let me get to the front. I want to see this. In the same way, brothers and sisters, we find that the miracle of the Prophet is in our houses. It's in everybody's home. But we do not give this attention that it requires. The book which bears witness that this is the last prophet. Surah Ahzab says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ma kana Muhammadun aba ahadin min rijalikum, walakin Rasulullahi wa khataman nabiyyin. Wa khataman nabiyyin. Khatam means the seal of the prophets. So therefore, previous prophets, as we mentioned, their miracles were not everlasting, because there was a prophet to come after them. Therefore, the following miracle would abrogate and cancel the miracles prior to this. Therefore, because the prophet is the last of the prophets, he needs a miracle that lasts till the Day of Judgment. That is the Holy Quran. Now it's important to discuss, now that we discussed that the Quran is the miracle of the Prophet until the Day of Judgment, will bear witness not to our deeds only, to the fact that the Prophet is the last Prophet, and the Deen al-Waqi'i and Haqiqi is Islam. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Another stage that we need to discuss when discussing the Quran are the challenges that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives in the Quran. Because like I said, when there is a miracle, it has to come with a claim. it has to come with a claim. And the claim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in various chapters and verses of the Holy Quran mentions this. For example, there are different stages to these challenges that Allah gives, that the Quran is a miracle and O people, you will not be able to bring its like. For example, the Quran starts off by saying that if you believe that this is not a miracle, then bring a book like this. Bring a book like this. For example, the Quran says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, قُلْ لَإِنِ اجْتَمَعَ الْإِنسُ وَالْجِنُّ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ لَا يَأْتُونَ بِمِثْلِهِ وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ ظَهِيرًا. What does the Quran say? قُلْ, say that if the jinn and ins, if the humans and the jinns gathered, in اجتمع الجن إنس والجن على أن يأتوا بمثل هذا القرآن, if the humans and the jinns come together so that they could try and gather a Quran like this, لا يأتون بمثله, they will not be able to do so. They will not be able to bring a book like this. وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ ظَهِيرًا, even if some of them were for others' assistance. So, when the Prophet is saying that this is a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to prove that I am the last Prophet, this is a miracle from Him, we find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala challenges the people and says that if you think that you can bring a Quran like this, know that you can't. Even if all of mankind, all of the humans and jinns, they came together, they will not be able to bring a Quran like this. Then we find that in, for example, Surah Hud, which is the 11th chapter of the Holy Quran, Allah makes this challenge easier. What does He say? He says that if you are in doubt that this is not a miracle from us that we have sent upon our abd, our servant, as in namely Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then bring, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad, then bring 10 chapters, Ashara Surah. Refer to Surah Hud, chapter 11. Bring 10 chapters like this. So the first challenge was bring a book like this. Then when the people seen that we can't bring something like the Quran, again these are all proofs that the whole Quran was compiled in the time of the Prophet. Because if Allah is saying bring a book like this, this means that there's already a book in the time of the Prophet. Because when Qul is used in the Quran, it is directly addressing the Prophet. Because it's upon the Prophet that the nuzul and revelation of the Quran is taking place. Very important points that I'm mentioning here. Because I mentioned that, unfortunately, people try and take this credit away from the Prophet. And these verses and the hadith that we have mentioned clearly prove that there was a book that was called the Quran in the time of the Prophet, and it was compiled by the Prophet himself. So therefore, we started with the challenge, which is saying that bring one book like this. Then when the people were ma'yus and unable to do so, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easier and said, if you can't bring a book like this, then bring 10 chapters. Then, when they even couldn't do this, when they couldn't do that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to prove this point, reveals in the Holy Quran, in both chapter 10 of the Holy Quran, both chapter 10 and the second chapter, verse number 23, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إن كنتم في ريب مما نزلنا على عبدنا فأتوا بسورة من مثله. If you are in doubt about that which we have revealed upon our servant as in the Prophet, إن كنتم في ريب مما نزلنا على عبدنا, on what we have revealed upon the Prophet, فأتوا, then bring, come with suratin, one surah, min mithle, from the Quran. Bring one surah. Now, for those that do not know this. The longest surah of the Holy Quran is the second chapter, being Surah Baqarah. The longest chapter. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ, bring a surah, one surah could be Surah Baqarah. But again, to make it easier for the kuffar, to make it easier for the hypocrites, what does Allah also show? That in the same way that the longest surah is the second Surah Baqarah, the shortest is Surah Kawthar. If you believe that this is not a miracle, then bring فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ, the smallest surah of the Holy Quran is Surah Kawthar. Bring a surah like Surah Kawthar. If you believe that this is not a miracle, and you are also able to bring a Quran like this, then bring something as short as Surah Kawthar. We find that in every language, this is an important point also. We find that in every language there are two forms where the language is used. Because some people have this question, is the Quran poetry? And the verses of the Quran go against this, the hadith go against this. Why? Because people try and relate, for example, French or English to the Arabic of the Quran. So here there's a few questions that arise that, first of all, we need to know that for every language, there is either nathr or nazm. For every language, there's either nathr, which means prose in English, prose, normal text. What I'm speaking now are prose. It's normal text. In Arabic, it's referred to as nathr. Or you have nazm, which is poetry. However, in the Arabic language, there's a third. Every other language only has two, nazm and nathr, prose and poetry. However, the Arabic language has three, prose, poetry, and the Holy Quran. Because the Quran is not prose, and neither is it poetry. It's higher than both of them. This is why people ask, why is it that the Quran is revealed in Arabic, not Turkish, for example, not Russian? It's a question. Tomorrow if someone asks you, excuse me brother, as a Muslim, tell me why is the Quran in Arabic? I thought Islam was a religion for all. And then this is where we start thinking, oh, what shall we say? But if we read the Quran, we find that in Surah Yusuf, the answer for this is available. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyan la'allakum ta'qilun. Surely we revealed the Quran in Arabic so that you understand. Surah Yusuf, refer to it afterwards. Look at the translations as well. Many things that we question, the answers are in the Quran. Many things. Inshallah, tomorrow we will discuss where these many things stop. We find that in the Quran it's mentioned that the reason why this is in Arabic is so you understand. What does this understand mean? When we look into the tafasir, we find that the Arabic language is the most complex language in the world. Some people think, no, it's Mandarin. Why? Because you can't understand it and you think when the Chinese people are speaking it's difficult to understand, so you think it's complex. No. I give this example many times that in Arabic we find that a three-letter word like ayn, excuse me for those people that have heard this before. In Arabic we find that a three-letter word like ayn, ya, noon, has 80 meanings. 80. If you're not hearing me correctly, 80. 80 meanings. Till today, when we study usul al-fiqh, there's an example given. Ishtaraytu aynan. I bought an ayn. Till today, we discuss what this could mean. Till today. When we read usul al-fiqh, we don't understand exactly what this means. We have to look for background, context, what this jumla, this phrase means. Therefore, also another question which is asked is the translation of the Quran also a miracle? Because the Quran is a miracle. Therefore, if I am reading the English, Persian, Urdu, Turkish, Chinese, Mandarin translation of the Quran, is this also a miracle? And the ulama say no. Why? Because when you read a translation of the Quran, this is what the translator thinks Allah is saying. Remember this point that we mentioned about ayn. that when one word can have so many meanings, out of the thousands of words within Arabic, the feminine versions of words, the masculine version of words. In English, you have singular and plural. In Arabic, you have singular, plural, and dual. When there is a group where it's a mixed gathering, for example, the pronoun which is used differs. We're talking about Arabic here. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. So therefore, we need to understand that the Quran, the reason why it's in Arabic is because the Arabic is the most eloquent and complex language of the world. Which brings us on to where we were, just carrying on from where we left off from when the Quran challenges the people. And for those that are joining us, we said that the Quran is a miracle. Therefore, in this holy month, we need to understand why it's a miracle. And it's only when we understand the value of the Quran can we give it the attention that it requires. And we mentioned that this Quran is a living miracle. And it bears witness to our acts and to the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin wa ajil farajahum. And therefore, within the hadith, we find that on the day of judgment, when it comes in its physical form, it will criticize the Muslims and say that I was in your homes. You did not give me the attention that I required, being the miracle of your prophet. And finally, we mentioned that the Quran challenges that if you believe, oh people, that you can bring a book like this, bring a book like this. If you can't bring a book, bring 10 surahs. If you can't bring 10 surahs, then bring one surah. One surah of the Holy Quran. One surah. And we said that the shortest surah is Surah Kawthar. Now within Surah Kawthar, we find that the word Kawthar itself is only mentioned once in the Holy Quran. We find that إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ in this form, إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ is only mentioned in this surah in this particular form. In the same way, brothers and sisters, that this surah, Surah Kawthar, is unique. For the lady whom it has been revealed for is also unique. In honor of Sayyidah Zahra, recite aloud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali. She is also unique. And when the Quran is challenging, the Quran is saying, bring a chapter even like Surah Kawthar. I have about 10 minutes left, and this whole muqaddama, this whole introduction of 50 minutes is for this next 5 minutes. Everything that we've mentioned is for these last 5 minutes, so everyone's attention, especially for these 5 minutes. Because inshallah, as the servant of the community, we believe it's vital that we also address contemporary issues that are happening around the world. Why is it that people are saying that when you recite the Quran, you become, na'udhu billah, a terrorist? Those people that don't have insight, I'm talking about. However, those that have intellect and they are learned academics, they know what the Quran says. Why is it that Muslims, when they read the Quran, they become like this? They become aggressive. They want to attack. Inshallah, tomorrow we will continue from this. That whenever the Quran is read alone, you fall into these problems. When you say that the Quran is sufficient for us, Hasbuna kitab Allah, it's surprising that the people that said this first were the first people to come to Amir al-Mu'mineen and ask, Ya Ali, what does this mean? History bears witness to this. The references I always say, if people require where every word that I am mentioning is written, I will give you the references from both Ahl Sunnah books and the Shia books. We are speaking with authority, brothers and sisters. So therefore, what we are saying has weight. So, this 5 minutes is very important. We find that the Quran says that فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ. In the time of the Holy Prophet, when this chapter was revealed, we find that the Prophet ordered his companions to write down this chapter, small chapter. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. Fasalli li rabbika wanhar. Inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. They wrote this down and they took it and The companions hanged it in the Kaaba. We find that the Kaaba was a place where specific eulogies or poems were hanged there. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And they were referred to as Saba' Mu'allaqat, the 7 tablets that were hanged within the Kaaba. One of them was Surah Kawthar. Till today in the Hawza we study this book by the name of Saba' Mu'allaqat, where these 7 pieces of extremely high and eloquent pieces of Arabic, whether they be poems or this particular surah, we study them to see the grammatical side of it, the rhetoric side of it, and we study this as a textbook within the Hawza. Very important point that I'm making, and inshallah, Sayyid is here also, and I'll be coming off the pulpit in about 5 minutes. Very important point that I'm trying to make. The Quran is saying, bring one surah. The shortest surah, Surah Kawthar. Surah Kawthar, when revealed, it is now placed within the Kaaba as a challenge to the people. So if you can bring something like this, bring it. We find that in this time, there was a person by the name of Sha'sha, living in the time of the Holy Prophet. Now this individual was an expert in grammar, an expert of Arabic language, a linguistic master. And what people would do was when writing their poetry, reading their poetry, they would refer to Sha'sha and say, take out our faults, take out any errors that we might have in our kalam. And Sha'sha, it said in history that he would only speak on one day. Throughout the year, he would only speak on one day. And on that one day, the whole of Mecca would come together and gather to listen that this is the day that Sha'sha is speaking. The most eloquent person of that time. In the evening, Sha'sha would come out for his, nightly walk. And people would refer to him and say, Sha'sha, for example, this is my poetry, read it. He wouldn't speak. He wouldn't speak. He would have his qalam in his hand, he would read it, take out the errors and give it back. Another person would come with their poetry or their specific eloquence in Arabic and they would give it. When people became weak and they could not answer Surah Kawthar, they took Surah Kawthar and took it to Sha'sha himself. When Sha'sha took it in his hand, he began to read it with his pen in his hand. The first time he read Surah Kawthar, he could not find any errors. He read it again, thinking that maybe I read it quickly, I'll go back again. The pen was ready for the errors, read it twice. No errors. He was forced to say that Sha'sha that would not speak throughout the year was forced to speak and say, Ma hadha min kalam al-bashar. This, what I'm reading, is not the words of a human. Bal huwa fawqun min kalam al-bashar. It is higher than what a person is able to speak. That person that would not speak for a whole year, they will stay silent. By just seeing Surah Kawthar. And I was joking before, I said, thank God he didn't see, for example, Surah Baqarah, he would have died. Just by seeing this short surah of the Holy Quran, he was forced to speak and say that this is fawq al-kalam al-bashar. This is above what the human is able to do. This is the point that I have saved everything for. We find that after this, when the Muslims of the time, when the hypocrites of the time, Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, when the people of the time became weak and were unable to answer the Prophet through their knowledge, when they seen that we cannot answer the Prophet and we cannot give an answer to even Surah Kawthar, this is when they started to plan against the Prophet. This is when they saw that they are unable with their knowledge to battle and come in combat with the Prophet on this level. They started to plan against the Prophet. Let's kill the Prophet. Let's do this to the Prophet. Let's do this to the Prophet's family. So therefore, around the world, in Bahrain, in Pakistan, in Iraq, in Yemen, in Lebanon, where you see there are a certain type of people that are being oppressed and attacked, know that similar to the time of the Prophet, when they cannot answer us with knowledge, it's against us that they pick up the guns. It's against us that they do terrorist attacks. This is the same thing which is repeated throughout history. Because they do not have an answer for our knowledge. Because we are connected to the Ahl al-Bayt alayhimus salam. Show me a door that has so much knowledge that the Prophet himself says that if you want to come into the city of knowledge, then you have to come through its door, which is no one else than Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi alayhi salam. Very important point that around the world, when you turn on the TV, you find that this is a suicide attack in Karachi, for example, target killing. This is no different from the time of the Prophet. When they seen that the only way to get rid of the Shi'as is by killing them, we do not have answer for their books. When they do munadhara with us, when they bring their own principles of faith from our books, how can we get rid of them? We have to kill them, we have to get rid of them. So no, this is the main point of tonight's lecture. That wherever you see oppression happening, whether it's, I don't know, Saudi via Yahudi, I don't know. Wherever it's happening, you know that this is the same instance and the same repetition of history that was in the time of the Holy Prophet. And it's only those people that are being attacked where the enemy and opposition cannot refute an answer through knowledge. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you, Sheikh Abbas, for delivering that beautiful lecture on the Holy Quran. There are books as you walk in, Sheikh Abbas's books that he has published. They are for sale, so please make sure that you have a look at them at least. He's worked very hard translating them. He's put a lot of effort in it, so inshallah they're available. Brother Ali Raza is there at the desk. Before we call Sayyid al-Hakim to do Dua al-Iftatah, I just ask you guys to please try to come on time tomorrow, inshallah. And the program starts at 8 p.m. on time. So without any further ado, Brother Ali al-Hakim, can you come and recite dua, iltimas dua, and sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Please recite a Fatiha for al-Banin. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. دعاء كويل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخضع لها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء وبعلمك الذي حاط بكل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء يا نور يا قدوس يا نور يا قدوس يا نور يا قدوس يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تهتك العصام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء. اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك واستشفع بك إلى نفسك وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توزعني شكرك وأن تلهمني ذكرك. اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاضع متذلل خاشع أن تسامحني وترحمني وتجعلني بقسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا. اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وأنزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وعظم فيما عندك رغبته. اللهم أعظم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكرك وظهر أمرك وغلب قهرك وجرت قدرتك ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك. اللهم لا يجد لذنوبي غافرا ولا لقبائحي ساترا ولا لشيء من عمل القبيح بالحسن مبدلا غيرك. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك ظلمت نفسي ظلمت نفسي ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي اللهم مولاي كم من قبيح سترت وكم من فادح من البلاء يقلت وكم من عثار وقيت وكم من مكروه دفعت وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرت اللهم عظم بلائي وفرط بي سوء حالي وقصرت بي أعمالي وقعدت بي أغلالي وحبسني عن نفعي بعد ومالي وخدعتني الدنيا بغرورها ونفسي بخيانتها ومطالي يا سيدي فأسألك بعزتك أن لا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عملي وفعالي ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في الأحوال كلها رؤوفا وعلي في جميع الأمور عطوفا إلهي وربي من لي غيرك أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي ولم اعترس فيه من تزيين عدوي فغرني بما أخوى وسعده على ذلك القضاء فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعض حدودك وخالفت بعض أوامرك فلك الحجة علي في جميع ذلك ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاءك وألزمني حكمك وبلاؤك وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي معتذرا عادما منكسرا مستقيلا مستغفرا منيبا مقرا مذعنا معترفا لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة من رحمتك اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ضري وفكني من شدي وثاقي يا ربي ارحم ضعف بدني ورقة جلدي ودقة عظمي يا من بدأ خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي أمن الابتداء كرمك وسالفي بالركاب يا إلهي وسيدي وربي أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعد من طوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك ولهج به لساني من ذكرك واعتقده ضميري من حبك وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك هات أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيت أو تباعد من أدنيت أو تشرد من ناويت أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمت وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي تسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدة وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقة وبشكرك مادحة وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة وعلى ضمائر حوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعة وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنة ما هكذا الظن بك ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا ربي وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها أوقاتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه قليل مكثور يسير بقاء قصير مدته، فكيف اعتمال لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء سطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي فكيف بي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين، يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو ولما منها أضج وأبكي، لأليم العذاب وشدته لطول البلاء ومدته، فلئن صيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك، وهبني صبرت على حر نارك فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك، أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك، فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لئن تركتني ناطقا لأضجن إليك بين أهلها ضجيج العاملين، ولأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولأبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولأنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين، أفتشراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمل لرحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك يا مولاي. فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفه؟ أم كيف يتقلقل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقه؟ أم كيف تزجر زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رباه؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عشقه منها فتتركه فيها؟ هيهات ما ذلك الظن بك، ولا المعروف من فضلك، ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك. فباليقين أقطع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحديك، وقضيت به من إخلاد معانديك، لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما، وما كانت لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما، لكنك تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملأها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين، وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين، وأنت جل ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما، أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي حتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليك يجريتها، أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمت وكل ذنب أذنبت وكل قبيح أسررت وكل جهل عملت كتمته أو أعلنت أخفيته أو أظهرت، وكل سيئة أمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي، وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم، وبرحمتك أخفيته وبفضلك سترته وأن توفر حظي من كل خير تنزل أو إحسان تبذل أو بر تنشر أو رزق تبسط أو ذنب تغفر أو خطأ تستر. All together. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك رقي يا من بيده ناصيتي يا عليما بضري ومسكنتي يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي في الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا. يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي وقوي على خدمتك جوارحي واجدد على العزيمة جوانحي وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك حتى أسرح إليك في ميادين السابقين وأشرع إليك في المبادرين وأشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين وأخافك مخافة الموقنين وأجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرد ومن كادني فكد واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك وأقربهم منزلة منك وأخصهم زلفة لديك، فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك، وجد لي بجودك، وعطف علي بمجدك، واحفظني برحمتك، واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا، وقلبي بحبك متيما، ومن علي بحسن إجابتك، وأقني عثرتي، واغفر زلتي، فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك، وأمرتهم بدعائك، وضمنت لهم الإجابة. فإليك يا ربي نصبت وجهي، وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي، فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي، وبلغني مناي، ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي، واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي، يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء، فإنك فعال لما تشاء، يا من اسمه دواء، وذكره شفاء، وطاعته غنى، ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء، وسلاحه البكاء، يا سابغ النعم، يا دافع النقم، يا نور المستوحشين في الظلم، يا عالما لا يعلم، صل على محمد وآل محمد، وافعل بما أنت أهله، وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله، وسلم تسليما كثيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لولي